Hello everyone, welcome to Morning Coffee. Thank you so much for tuning in. So this is going to be your general energy reading for your Wednesday, your hump day. Wednesday, August 2nd, 2020. Please keep in mind that time is an illusion and energies are fluid. So just because this is a reading dated for the 2nd of August, it doesn't mean that it absolutely has to resonate for you at that time. Whenever you are guided to watch this reading and it resonates, then that's the message for you in that moment. Also keep in mind that this is a general reading, so please take what resonates and leave what doesn't. All right, kids, we've got a little bit of story time, so buckle up, settle in, because it's about that time. Okay. So anyway, first I want to start by saying, I know you've noticed that I'm sure you've noticed that I don't have my necklace on right now. Also, this is my shirt. But see, woke up gay again. Okay, anyway. I don't have my necklace. I took it off to take a shower last night, and it's as if it grew a pair of legs and just walked away. Like, I'm already late. And there's a reason for it. We'll get into that. But I'm already late with morning coffee and whatnot. And I was made even later because I was walking around like, where the hell is my necklace? Like, it literally, you guys, there are only so many places that it can be. This is not a huge apartment, and it's gone. I can't find it anywhere. But now that's prompting me to think maybe I should work on getting a new one. And also I found the necklace that Natalie had given me. I put it in my bag the last time I went over to my friend Erin's house for when Laura came through Puerto Rico, because I intended to put it on a new chain. I just forgot. So that's fine. I still have that one. But my onyx necklace. Now, here's the thing about that onyx necklace. I had a small thought not too long ago about how maybe I should get a new one, because I've had that one for years. That is actually, so I started wearing onyx when I was with my ex-husband, and he had given me a pendant that I was wearing, and when I left him and we were going through the divorce proceedings, I was like, I need a new one. So the one I had been wearing for, let's see, I got this one that I've had in October of 2017. So actually it would be 3 years that I've been wearing that necklace consistently in this coming October. But that was the one that I got right when I was in the heat and the thick of my twin flame experience. And, I was going through the divorce, blah, blah, blah. And I was going through my big old transformation that ultimately landed me here. So now that this necklace is gone, number one, I'm kind of bummed out. I mean, I have some black tourmaline that I can carry with me. I'm kind of bummed out about it because it was a cool necklace. But also I'm thinking maybe I should get another one. So if any of you know of anywhere that I can get a nice black onyx pendant that I can wear as a necklace, I usually like to have the chain long enough so that it like the stone itself is like resting like right on my heart chakra. If you know where I can get one of those, please let me know, because I mean, I'm in Puerto Rico now. I don't necessarily know where I can get them here. Not to say that I can't get them. If I were back home, I mean, I went to the guy that I got that necklace from. He's on Instagram as New Atlantis, Neu Atlantis. He sells crystals. He makes all kinds of great stuff. And he had a stand, like a table, on Bedford Avenue in Williamsburg. And I went there, I picked out the stone, and he wrapped it right then and there for me. It was awesome. But anyway, if you guys know of anywhere that I can get something like that, please let me know, because I guess I'm in the market for a new one now. All right, so anyway, next little piece. I told you, buckle in, guys, or settle in, guys, because I have quite a bit to say before we even get to the reading. Next thing I want to say is keep in mind, put on your radar if you haven't done so already. I will mark your calendars for the 17th of September. I will be doing an interview with the Lake Erie Institute for their Web of Light series. They're doing a personal interview on me. So if you guys want to get a look into myself and my journey and how I got here and all that good stuff, Please check that out. The link to their website is in the description box below. Just go to that link and scroll down a little bit, and you'll see the event with my pretty old face right over there. So check that out. It's going to be great. September 17th, 7 p.m. And it's going to be a crowdcast interview, so you guys will be able to ask questions through the chat, but through a chat, but it's just going to be me and Nurit who will be interviewing me. Lord, I am scruffy today, y'all. Okay, next what I want to say is monthly readings. So the love readings are up for Patreon. If you're not on Patreon yet, I highly recommend that you do so, because I am going to be making a move towards more Patreon content and maybe a little less YouTube content. I'm not sure. I don't know yet. And if it's not less YouTube content, it's probably going to be different YouTube content. Anyway, love readings are up and ready to go. Monthly readings for the zodiac signs. I have decided to try what I tried back in March again. I want to go live with it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 4 separate live sessions for each element. And within each session, I'm going to look at each individual sign, okay? So it's not going to be like the weekly check-in chat where I do weekly energy readings for each element. It's going to be each video or each live session is going to be each element, but it's going to be each sign within each element, okay? I'm going to do that next week. So look out for that. I will schedule the live stream so that you can prepare for it. If there is an ideal time that would be right for you guys, I mean, I'm on the East Coast, and I know Pacific Coast, you're 3 hours behind the East Coast. So maybe I'll do it in the afternoon so that more people have a better chance of making it for the live. Don't worry if you don't make it for the live. Obviously, there will be timestamps and all that stuff. But let me know in the comments what time you think. Maybe like 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time would be 12 p.m. Pacific. Would that work for you guys? You let me know. Yeah. And I am kind of feeling like I want to move towards a little more of an oracle thing, but I'll figure all that out, and we'll figure that out later. Okay, so last thing. Today's reading is not going to be your typical general energy reading. And the main reason why I am so late this morning, like I'm literally starting this an hour later than I normally do, is because I could not sleep last night. I literally could not sleep for shit. I think I got to bed around 9:30ish. And sidebar, I was all out of rum, so like I was all out of rum. So let's just say it like that. Let's say it that way. I was all out of rum. I mean, I had like a bottle of white wine, like a half a bottle of white wine that I drank and then I used to cook with. But that was like old. And I didn't want to go out and like buy more, so I was just like, fuck it. What do I need it for? Well, I couldn't sleep, but it's not because of the rum. It's because okay, so I got to bed at like 9:30. I tossed and turned for a good hour or so. Finally fell asleep. Woke up again to mosquito bites on my arms, right? And I look at the clock, and it's like 12:50 something. I'm like, you've got to be shitting me. And of course, when I woke up, I was wide awake, right? It's all right, fine. I tossed and turned for a little bit more. Then I was like, fuck this. I'm obviously not going back to sleep. So I did like some Duolingo for an hour. And then I finished uploading the love readings because Patreon crashed on me last night. That's why if you're a Patreoner and you saw that like 3 of the videos go out at like 8:30 last night and then nothing else until 3 this morning, something happened with Patreon and it crashed. So I had to wait. Okay, fine. So I did all that, and then I say to myself, wait a second, don't we have a full moon coming? And I looked it up. Sure enough, it's today. I couldn't sleep because of the full moon. So, with that said, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a look into the full moon energies. Full moon in Pisces. I believe it's in Pisces in terms of tropical astrology. Would anybody know what it is in terms of sidereal astrology? Because that's kind of more what I would want to align with, and I've been trying to find that information, and I just can't seem to find it. So if anybody has an idea or knows where I can go to find that calculator, to find the planet transits within sidereal astrology, or maybe it doesn't matter, help me out if you know. But as far as I know, this is the full moon in Pisces. So I'm going to do a full moon oracle reading for you guys. And I'm going to start with the Queen of the Moon Oracle. And then I have the Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle. And then I also have a tarot deck here. So we're going to look at messages. Ooh, actually, you know what? I also want to get the cycles of the moon. Hold on just a second. Okay, yeah, we're going to use the Moonology deck as well. Yes. And then I have tarot here that's going to help us clarify. So this is for this moon cycle, okay? I was really influenced, guided to do that. Ugh, hold on, pause again. Sorry guys, my allergies are acting up again. Okie dokie, so with all of that said, let's get started here, yeah? Hi, Spirit. Please make me a clear channel for the collective at this time. Please bring forward the best messages to serve the highest good of all involved for this full moon in Pisces on our August 2nd, our Wednesday, our hump day, August 2nd, 2020. Thank you so much, Spirit. Oh, also, happy hour tonight. Yeah? Information's in the description box below. Okay, great. I'm going to give this 5 shuffles. We're starting with the Queen of the Moon Oracle. And 1, this is 2. So I want to get just some messages. What does this full moon in Pisces mean for us on a collective scale? This is 3. Full moon in Pisces for the collective. This is 4. Ooh! Whoa, okay. We're going to try that again. Yikes. This is 4. And this is 5. Alrighty. Let's see what we've got here for us, kids. What does this full moon in Pisces mean for us at this moment in time? What is this cycle bringing forward for us? What do we need to be aware of in this cycle? Okay. Quite a few cards, actually, which is good. Actually, yeah, I'm going to want to get into the book for this, too. Okay, we're good. At the bottom of the deck, overall energy, we have balance. So already, this full moon in Pisces is helping us balance out. And with it being in Pisces, I would say it's helping us balance out our emotions. Yeah, ooh, this is interesting. So what I'm seeing with this, so far we have a number of cards that are face up. Let's talk about those first. We have growth, we have power, we have purity, and we have hunger. And what I'm seeing here is like there is a balance between light and dark that's happening here, between power and purity. Interesting, because I was watching Stargirl the Practical Witch, she's one of my favorites here on YouTube. But she was talking about what this full moon in Pisces... Was it that? I think she was talking about the full moon in Pisces. But she did, it's one of her latest videos that she put out. It's a Q&A in which she talks about, you know, her preference towards sidereal astrology and all that. But then I really kind of feel like she also got into... what this full moon in Pisces is, and I feel like I remember whether she was talking about the full moon in Pisces or not. I remember there was a message that a channeling that she brought through. Yes, it was for the full moon. That this full moon in Pisces is really supposed to help. Shit, I hope I'm saying this correctly. Whatever, but this full moon is, or this transit that we're going through right now, is a time for us to really work on balancing and harmonizing and healing our feminine side. And what I'm seeing, a healing of the divine feminine. Oh, no, wait. No, that was the Venus transit she was talking about. That's fine. Whatever. Because either way, that message is relevant here. And I'm seeing it here between power and purity, light and dark, good and bad. Now, Normally, I would see dark, the black color, as the feminine and the white color as the masculine, but that's a little bit reversed right now. But right now I'm seeing the dark color or the black color as power, masculine, purity being the feminine. And there's a sense of balancing that's happening here, a sense of cleansing and cleaning and healing, okay? You do have growth, but then you also have hunger. And actually, this is the card that I want to look at in the book, but we have two more here, so let's talk about this. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Look at this. We have fear in reverse, and then we have resistance. But honestly, I really want to say this resistance could also be seen as resilience, all right? There's a level of resilience here. There's a level of power. I really feel like this full moon in Pisces is awakening some sort of hunger in us. A hunger for growth, a hunger for power, the balance between power and purity, okay? And there's an element of releasing fear in order to be resistant, or I really want to say resilient, all right? But what I want to read right now is card number 29, hunger. But what Stargirl was talking about in this message was, and I really do think it was the Venus transit that she was talking about. But honestly, I feel like this full moon in Pisces could really kick that off for you somehow. I mean, I'm not in astrology, you guys. Maybe I should start studying more astrology, but I don't know. Anyway, there's a sense of healing the divine feminine within, and that's collectively. So healing the balance between like the three stages of the feminine, the maiden, mother, and crone, and not fighting each other between any of those stages, not being jealous of each other between any of those stages, because ultimately everybody that lives, or everybody that represents feminine energy, is going to go through all those stages. It's a natural progression. So, and then it comes into, when it comes to balancing between the feminine and the masculine, not allowing the feminine herself to be misogynistic in any way, changing how the masculine treats the feminine, or interacts with the feminine, or sees the feminine, views the feminine, really healing and integrating. And that's where I see this coming through with power and purity, okay? Okay, so hunger, let's read this really quick. Hunger says, feed the good and hope within you. There will always be a lean part of the cycle. Prosperity will come. Do not let your hunger blindly dictate your actions entirely. As an old wise Cherokee is speaking to his of the First Nations of the U.S., is speaking to his grandson about life. Oh, an old wise Cherokee is speaking to his grandson about life. The young boy asks his grandfather, "It is said, grandfather, that everyone has two wolves within them. The first wolf gives darkness, despair, and hate, and jealousy, and sorrow. The second wolf gives light, and hope, and helpfulness, and kindness. Yet, grandfather, I feel them fighting within me. What can I do? My small son, these two wolves will always fight, and they will always fight within each other, each person. You are no different," said the grandfather. "But," said the boy, "grandfather, which wolf will win?" And the grandfather answers, "Whichever wolf you feed." We must be careful. We must be careful about what we nourish and feed within us. If we give abundance to the aspects of the self that can harm ourselves and others, then we can truly. What? If we give abundance to aspects of the self that can harm others and ourselves, then we cannot truly thrive. Having no limitations upon these behaviors and patterns hurts us and starves the higher and finer parts of ourselves that will bring us more happiness. To ripple that happiness to others is part of the way we are on the planet as humans. We must also recognize that in life, just because it's a cycle, there will always be leaner, less abundant, or less bright times. Yet we have built our resilience and self-trust for times like this, and we know we are both loved and protected. The cycle will soon turn to less shadow and more bounty. So now what I'm seeing with this, especially with the balance between power and purity, there is a level of honoring both sides of yourself. Because me personally, how I resonate, I always resonated as someone that walks the line between the light and the dark. I've always kind of felt like I've had one foot in the light and one foot in the dark. And of course, society and public opinion would say, oh no, you shouldn't do that. You should walk in the light. You don't want to walk in the dark because that's dangerous. You'll get sucked in, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. And sure, I took that and I allowed myself to resonate with it. I forced myself to resonate with it. But in reality, I truly feel like I am someone that looks to balance the light with the dark. And that's really what I try to do here on this channel, right? So even as that story about the two wolves within us was kind of leaning more towards the light, I personally want to say you need to feed whatever needs to be fed in order to keep the balance. Because everybody has light and dark within them. And it would be remiss of you, it would be wrong of you. I feel like you would, well, I don't necessarily want to say wrong. What I do want to say is, I feel like you would be missing out on an opportunity to really grow, really expand, really learn, should you not combine your forces of light and dark, power and purity. Figure out, and the growth here comes from figuring out how that resonates with you. What does that look like for you? Instead of just spending all of your time focusing on building and the light, focus also on what does darkness mean for you? What does darkness represent within you? This could also represent facing your shadow. So there could be a good deal of shadow work that happens in this full moon cycle, okay? Now, last thing I really want to talk about is resistance and fear in reverse. But actually, you know what? Well, fear is in reverse. Resistance is upright. But actually, I'm going to hold off on that right now. I'm going to get deeper into that when we get into the tarot section. Let's move on. I want to move to the Moonology deck here. Free shuffle. So that was one. This is two. This is three. And I just want to look at a little bit more of what this cycle represents for us. Yes? All right, Spirit. So what does this cycle represent for us? Yeah. Okay. Overall energy, you have be bold and make the first move. And that definitely aligns with, what is this? This is the cardinal moon. That definitely aligns with this fear in reverse, allowing you to bring balance to power and purity. Okay? Definitely aligns with it. You have a personal issue reaches resolution, full moon in Cancer. You have bring love into the situation, new moon in Aquarius. You have, luck is on your side, new moon in Sagittarius. You have your dreams need a practical plan, full moon in Taurus. And finally, you have surrender to the divine, straight up full moon. So very interesting. So we'll say that we'll say that this full moon is in Pisces, right? Okay. Pisces is the dreamer energy type. It's like very dreamy, very flowy, very daydreamy, very like spaced out, can easily get lost in the emotions or lost in the collective and blah, 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 blah. This full moon is giving you the opportunity to really dream, yes, but also allow those dreams to be solidified into some sort of physical plan. Okay? But in order for this to happen, you must surrender to the divine. Oh gosh, I had to blow my nose again. Hold on. Sorry about that. Okay, so there is a level of surrender that is needed here. And that's definitely the case when you're balancing power with purity. All right? You have to let go of your, Spirit is saying, you have to let go of your preconceived notions when it comes to the truth about power and the truth about purity. There's a difference between being perceived to be pure from a three-dimensional point of view and actually being pure in a spiritual sense. Being pure, and I'm going to say this because this is how I personally feel about it, but this is how the message is coming through. Being spiritually pure doesn't mean that you don't have raw power. That doesn't mean that you don't get your hands dirty. And I mean get your hands dirty by like getting down there and doing the real light work or mission work. I don't mean getting your hands dirty by, you know, doing a lot of negative things and drumming up a lot of negative karma. No. You can be pure and still be... You can be pure and still be a blue-collar worker. Think of that from like a spiritual sense. Like, you know what a blue-collar worker is, right? It's someone that, you know, is not like in a CEO or in some hoity fancy like office job. It's like, you know, okay, fine. But think of how society has viewed white collar versus blue collar, right? Well, you're only the purest if you're white collar. If you're blue collar, you're like almost a lowlife. No. So think of this from a spiritual sense. Okay, you get it. So with that said, surrendering to the divine is going to help you balance this power with pleasure. I'm sorry, power with pleasure. That's funny. Power with purity. And from there, you can start to really allow yourself to dream, and then bring your plans to a practical, bring your dreams to a practical plan, okay? Next, we have a personal issue is resolved. But in order for that personal issue to be resolved, you have to bring love into the situation. And then that circles us back to that message of healing the divine feminine, which is, I mean, we've been doing that for the longest time, but now, sidereally speaking at least, we're going to be moving into planetary transits that's going to actually facilitate this, okay? So you have to bring love into the situation and just let go of the fear of doing that, fear in reverse, and understand that luck is, in fact, on your side here. Okay, cool. I'm going to start a new file, and then we're going to continue. So hold on. Alrighty, let's continue. I want to move now to the Sacred Geometry Activations deck to see what we're activating here. I'm going to give this 5 shuffles. So 1, 2, 3. What is being activated for us in this full moon cycle in Pisces? 4. And 5. All right, here we go. Activations. Okay. All right, so at the bottom of the deck here, you do have Merkaba. The frequency of Merkaba supports our ability to use our consciousness to traverse into other layers of reality and dimensions. It activates our access to our Akashic inheritance as well, merging the totality of our experiences into our present to serve our highest purpose. And to me here, this is really talking about further balance and further integration of who we truly are, and maybe even for some of us there could be a situation or a situation in which past life circumstances really come, in some cases I want to say, come raging out of the woodwork, and that could be a really powerful thing, really strong thing, really intense thing emotionally, whether that's good or bad, I don't know, I'm not trying to define that for you, but I feel like there are some powerful things that are going to come up to be released here. You have allowance. The frequency of allowance invites us to be open to whatever comes our way without judgment, without opinion, without fear, and without resistance. When we allow, the universe becomes our partner in the wondrous dance of existence and expansion. Surrender to the divine. All right, there's definitely a level of surrender that's needed to happen, that's needed here in order for whatever this full moon is going to, whatever you're going to allow yourself to release You just have to surrender to it. Okay? Next, we have delight. The frequency of delight supports our capacity to create and experience feelings of intense joy and happiness. The more delight we feel, the more delight we invoke in others. And actually, this is where, remember when I was referring to power and pleasure, or power and purity, and I said power and pleasure? Well, this is kind of where that delight comes in. Because to be quite honest, you need to, in order to really enjoy your experience, enjoy your life, you need to be able to have that contrast between the light and the dark. That's who you are. That's who we all are. And honestly, that contrast is going to give you perspective in terms of, wow, this is really shitty, but you know what? I appreciate this because it's teaching me something. And now I'm back in this cycle, or in this part of the cycle, where like I can delight, I can revel, I can have fun, I can find pleasure in being the being that I am, that's balanced with light and dark, power with pleasure, good with bad, masculine and feminine, and really enjoy my experience here, okay? For some of you, that's what's going to be released. And that has a lot to do with releasing fear. Fear surrounding who you truly are on a soul level or in terms of the collective, okay? Next, we have soul time, which has kind of fallen out in reverse, but it fell on top of the bottom of the Queen of the Moon Oracle, which does have balance on it. And this says, the frequency of soul time asks us to allow the possibility of a new reality to emerge. One that embraces the concept that while the corporeal body is mortal, the soul is timeless, limitless, and infinite. For a lot of people, like, oh, sorry, the sunlight. For a lot of people, I feel like this came out in reverse here because you need to allow yourself, again, there's a big message of surrender here, but you need to allow yourself this time for your soul to emerge in the way that is best for it. And the only way that you can do that is by balancing and integrating your light and your dark, your good and your bad, your power with your purity, okay? I'm almost getting a Four of Swords energy from that soul time card. Rest, relaxation, healing, contemplation, meditation, taking a break from the world a little bit, or taking a break from, we could say, the rat race for a little bit, and just allowing yourself to be. Finally, you have two more cards here. You have, wow, you have dynamic. The frequency of dynamic supports our ability to harmonize between layers and aspects of different origin and frequency. It helps us to put together a reality that is made up of many different elements, both familiar and completely new, with ease, grace, and joy. And then finally, you have transition. The frequency of transition supports our deep understanding of the ever-changing nature of existence and our lives, so that we can learn to let go, surrender to the process, and allow transition to occur with ease and grace. Again, surrender, allowance, letting go. This is very, very good. All right, so the last step in this reading, I want to do some tarot here. And actually, I really want to talk first about fear in reverse with resistance. But really, I want to call this resilience. But you know what? Before I do that, let's read resistance here. This is card number 25. At least we'll read a little bit of it. Sorry about the sun glare, you guys. Familiarize yourself with how resistance manifests for you, the overt and the covert. If you continue to have doors slammed in your face, turn around. There will normally be an open door. Procrastinating is just another kind of fear. Move forward with confidence and persistence. There are two types of resistance. The first type we encounter when we keep getting obstacles placed in our way or our way is blocked. For example, we try to get a particular job in a particular field, but no matter what we do, it doesn't happen. This is external or overt resistance. Covert resistance, which occurs when we say we really want to do or complete something but feel resistance not to, is somewhat sneakier. All forms of procrastination fit here, writer's block being a classic example. When we want to do something but get distracted and don't do it, or we just can't seem to engage our will enough, that is covert resistance. I'm going to say this last part. We must battle the second kind of resistance like we would battle a crafty and terrible enemy. We must raise our shields and sharpen our swords and have a strategy to move the resistance. In fact, we must flow through it. There you go again. There is that energy of allowing, right? Because allowance is the antithesis or the opposite of resistance. And it is fear that keeps us in a resistant place. What are we fearing? Success? Happiness? Truly finding what it is that we want? Or are we fearing failure? And quite frankly, how much failure really is failure? 5 shuffles. I mean, it's all about your perspective, right? You can either say, oh, I failed that. Or you can say, wow, I succeeded in learning something new there. Excellent. This is 2. 3. 4. And 5. All right, Spirit, so what can you tell us about this resistance and fear, with fear being in reverse? Excellent. Oh, goodness, look at that. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, I might get one more shuffle here. Look at this. The Empress is at the bottom of the deck. There's that divine feminine energy coming through. Now, the first card that came out, it came out and it fell on top of the Queen of the Moon Oracle deck, which has balance at the bottom of the deck now. And then Soul Time on top of that, that fell out from the Sacred Geometry activations. And so now this card from the Tarot has fallen out on top of all of that. And it's the 8 of Swords in reverse. This is really a time, sorry, I'm shaking coffee. This is really a time for us to break out of the cocoons now. That's literally what I heard. When I saw this card come out and land there in that way, it's time to break out of the cocoon. And then, what also came out is the 4 of Swords. Woo, I am shaking like a mug. You have the 4 of Swords here. Now, in this case, I feel like this is saying that you've been in a place of contemplation, or at least you can use this time as a place of contemplation. But ultimately, there is a strong amount of enlightenment that's happened here. You see how that lamb has the sun right on where its third eye chakra is? There, it's literally like you gained a whole new perspective here. Okay, you also have that with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. So yes, this is going to be a time, this soul time period, this time for you to just be with yourself is a time to allow yourself to start to break out of that cocoon. But think about it this way, even when the butterfly is breaking out of the cocoon, and even when it first gets out, it doesn't just immediately fly away. It has to give its wings time to dry. It has to give it time for the blood to flow into its wings before it can actually take flight. And that's where you are right now. Or that's where this cycle is going to set you right now. This is like the 4 of Swords with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse is an energy of saying you've just now broken out of the cocoon, so 11-11. So now it's time for you to start contemplating what it is you want to do and how it is you want to move forward, having released this fear, having released resistance. But really, you guys, I really want to say that this, to me, feels more like resilience than resistance. But okay. And how do you want to move forward? And then once your wings are full and ready to go and ready to take you wherever it is you want to go, then you can start to move forward with the Knight of Pentacles. Yes? I want to get one more pull here. And Spirit is saying for overall energy. All right, so we were talking about resistance and fear there, but let's just get an overall pull for the whole situation. What other messages do you have for us for this full moon in Pisces, Spirit? We're going to stop there. Okay. At the bottom of the deck, you have the Ace of Swords, which is great because one of the first cards that came out is the 5 of Wands. And the 5 of Wands was falling sideways, okay? So to me, I'm seeing this 5 of Wands turn reversed. And to me, that is you letting go of some sort of inner battle, inner struggle, some sort of unbalance within yourself that kept you at odds with yourself, right? Because there is a level of truth, understanding, clarity that has come through, or that is available for you right now. Ace of Swords, most likely because of a product of you putting some really, yes, oh my God, Eight of Pentacles to the Ten of Swords to Judgment to the Ace of Pentacles, and finally to the King of Pentacles. Ooh, and the King of Cups too. You better stop it. So, so what this is saying here, guys, is you have a new opportunity at your disposal, or coming to you, because you rose above. You're answering the call. You're waking up. You're going through the ascension process. You put some really hard things to rest, or at least in this cycle, you could be putting some really hard things to rest. Either because you've been doing your work on yourself, or now you're really going to be doing more work. But ultimately, Ace of Swords, there's knowledge, truth, wisdom, and understanding that also I feel like is going to catalyze all of that, right? You're doing the work now, you're rising above, you're becoming more solid and grounded in who you truly are, King of Pentacles, and more solid and grounded in your emotions and emotional maturity and responsibility, King of Cups, all right? Whew, okay, next we have the Seven of Cups here, okay? But ultimately, this is referring to the Ace of Swords. So the Ace of Swords with the Five of Wands and the and the Seven of Cups here, I really feel like there's a lot of clarity coming through for you. Also the Seven of Pentacles, yes. So seeing things clearly, going through a review process, a checkpoint, changing the way you do things, checking in on your current harvest and how that resonates with you, and if you want to move forward with that. And with you balancing power with purity, balancing this light and dark, good and bad, positive and negative, masculine and feminine, whatever, with you getting that into greater balance, you will be able to set the record straight. You will be able to end the inner conflict. You will be able to end the inner conflict that will then clear up the confusion around you and allow you to set course better, Seven of Pentacles, in order to do more of the work that is necessary for you. Eight of Pentacles. And thus ultimately putting a major toxic cycle behind you, okay? Finally, you have here, wow, the Six of Swords, the Queen of Cups, the Knight of Wands, the Two of Wands, the Four of Pentacles, the Six of Wands, the Ten of Cups, and the Knight of Cups. So this full moon in Pisces really has a lot to do with your emotions. And that makes perfect sense because Pisces is a water sign. Pisces is a sign of emotions and feeling and compassion and the collective and collective consciousness, right? So, in moving on from rougher waters to calmer waters, by balancing and harmonizing and understanding your emotions, you are further able to activate yourself and make a decision for yourself moving forward on how you want to proceed. By letting go, Four of Pentacles, and rising above, releasing yourself from the burdens, you have a victory here, Six of Wands. A victory that is going to allow you to be to move forward, Knight of Cups to Ten of Cups, towards greater emotional fulfillment. But in order for you to do that, you must have a balanced sense and integrated sense of self within. And that is what this full moon in Pisces is going to help facilitate for us. Yes? Excellent. This is really good. I really like this, you guys. So finally, I want to close this reading with getting in this Getting into the Vortex deck by Abraham Hicks. And I just want to see what messages come through for us. Because in essence, we are getting into our vortex. We're getting into our place of alignment, power, and fulfillment, and manifestation. All right, so 5 shuffles. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alrighty, kids. Closing messages from Abraham Hicks, in terms of this full moon in Pisces here. Okay. Excellent. All right. Here we go. We have a number of cards, and all of them have fallen out on this stack of Queen of the Moon Oracle with the Sacred Geometry card, and then the Eight of Swords. It's all fallen out in the same place. All right. So first card we have is I can focus on what I do want in a relationship. By focusing upon the wanted characteristics of those around you, you train your vibration, offering to match only the best in them. And then the law of attraction can no longer match you up with the worst in them. When you focus upon the worst in them and train your vibration offering to match only the worst in them, the law of attraction can no longer match you up with the best in them. Next, we have life is supposed to be good for me. This is our strongest message to you. Life is supposed to be good for you. Do your best to find the best of the positive aspects that surround you. Look for things to appreciate. Even if there aren't that many, look for things to feel good about. Give your attention as best you can to the best things that are going on in your experience, with the determination to train yourself into the best feeling vibration that you can find right here, right now. But a large part of that is about understanding the balance between light and dark. Understanding the cycles that we go through, understanding that life is full of peaks and valleys, that life is a roller coaster ride. There are going to be ups, there are going to be downs, there are going to be good times, there are going to be bad times. And instead of just focusing on the good times and completely rejecting, or focusing on the light and completely rejecting the dark, instead focus on what the light can teach you and what is good about what the light is teaching you, or what you're experiencing with the light, and what the dark can teach you, and what you're experiencing is good about what the dark is teaching you or showing you, or what you're experiencing in that. Yes? It's all about how you focus. It's all about your perspective. No one, light or dark, is better than the other. Both are necessary. We live in a dichotomous world. Light is the other side of dark. Dark is the other side of light. They are two parts of the same whole. Right? Finally, and this one's my favorite. Others' opinions are less important than my personal guidance system. You did not intend to use the opinions of others to measure against your beliefs, desires, or actions in order to determine the appropriateness of them. Instead, you knew, and still remember long after you were born, that it was the relationship between the opinion or knowledge of the source within you and your current thoughts in any moment that would offer you perfect guidance in the form of your emotional guidance system. Yes, yes, y'all. Girl, you know what I like to say. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. You know? All right. All right. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this was helpful for you. I hope you have a fantastic day. And yes, I am doing happy hour tonight. So if you want to get in on the list, the link is in the description box below, or the information is in the description box below. Yeah? With that said, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I look forward to connecting with you again for our next cup of coffee tomorrow morning. Yep. Take care. Bye.